Hey guys, my name is Sediak and welcome back to another episode of Subway Builder where we're back in New York City. And last episode we did a huge Staten Island expansion and it was big for two reasons. One, it's the final borough that we was not really accessed in, or even attempting to kind of collect people from. We now cover it. That completes all of our boroughs in New York City. But also, two, we reduced the ticket prices enough to the point where we're now not making as much money as before. As you can see, hold on, if I go all time, and then, right, you can see our operational profit drop down. We're now losing nearly close to $3 billion a day because we dropped our ticket prices. And that's all because we wanted to see how many more people we could get to use our big, glorious subway network. And it turns out it was quite monumental because today might be the day where we officially have more people using public transport than actually driving in the region. We might be able to push it even more where there's just more people using public transport than driving and walking combined. Could today be the day where people in the New York City area would rather utilize our subway network? We are going to find out. So today we're going to do some big expansions. We're going to finally access some of the areas we're not currently working with. And hopefully we can transport even more passengers. So if you are enjoying this series so far, want to smash that like button down below if you haven't already. Subscribe so you get notified when more episodes do come out. And I would really, really appreciate that. So to be able to access these areas we're not currently accessing, we've got to check our demand stats and we've got to see all these areas that are red. So all these areas that are red are which we are not reaching, we have no access to them, and they would prefer then to drive or walk, depending on how close their destination is. Now, what we're looking at, and what will be the easiest for us, is to take a look at areas, like you can see here, the north of the Bronx going upwards. We have a lot of routes that just end. So adding an extra couple of extensions onto all of these will give us access to all these areas, and hopefully a couple of extra percent. The same things happens here as well. If you can check right now, we've got a couple of lines that just kind of end. They can extend. Same over here as well. Extend, 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 boys. Lots of extensions would be required. So let's get straight into this then. So the first thing I'm going to do then is work with the Bronx area. And let's keep this demand stats pinned right now so we can kind of alleviate and work with it. Now we'll start on the left-hand side, the green route, and we'll bring it so far up to kind of end. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if you count this little pink line here. Now, we won't be able to access everywhere, but there is a couple of more lines. These two lines down here, the brown and the new line, as it's called, the NEW. They've got to extend up this way anyway, so they'll be the dividing link that crosses over all these lines as a connection. So let's start with the green line then. I think they're all -5. So let's just kind of roll with that. -5. Heavy metro, parallel, all good. So let's continue this fashion then. So we'll place one there. And then I'm going to place one just here on the junction. And then we're going to run this through. Now, this is quite a populated area here. So this is going to kind of give us a nice little percentage boost and bonus. Now, where am I ultimately taking this, by the way? I think we're going to run up there, which will be pretty standard procedures. So I'll get it to run here to go through that. So I'll bend round and down, and then I'll implement a stop here. Now, this is obviously where it gets a little bit interesting now. And the connections get few and far between, but it becomes quite difficult to navigate the train line all the way through. So extend this green line going all the way up. Now, we discovered last episode that I've pushed the game to its absolute limits, and it's becoming very difficult right now to incorporate lines and connections. So I'll add in one just there, and I think that's as far as I want to go. Okay, that's as far as I want to go. So we'll bend this round, and I'm hoping I can then just run this directly into there with no questions asked. Yes. We'll add in the Chrissy Crossy. And now we'll continue these extensions going down. So we'll connect you up, making sure that we're not deleting any buildings, because that would be a pretty bad thing. And I like it when we can do a straight connection going all the way down, but it doesn't always work like that. And in. Very good. There to, let's just bend it nicely. No point doing anything too crazy. So far so good, but this is where it now gets a little bit twisty, windy, and bendy. Twisty, windy, and bendy. And this is where we're going to get super bendy right now. Super bendy, boys. Right, from there. Sweet, mate. Right, the game is frozen. It doesn't like the idea of me actually building this bit of train track right now. I'm telling you guys, I've actually pushed the game to its absolute limits, to the point where the game is like, no, Sediac, you cannot build any more extensions. I'm like, listen here, game. I will provide New York City and the surrounding boroughs with exactly what they require. Right, if I was low enough and deep enough in the ground, I could avoid all of this, but I'm also weirdly trying to save a few pennies because I've only got 17 billion left. Imagine, guys, only having 17 billion left. Oh, it's a tough world out there. The economy is in the toilet right now, and I'm down to my last 17 billion. And I'm only making $1 billion a day. Oh, poor me. Poor me right now. Only making $1 billion a day. Oh no, someone start a GoFundMe right now for your boy's transport network. I can't believe I've almost dropped $3 billion a day just by changing the ticket price. But it does mean we are transporting so many more people. And of course, it's increased the amount of percentage we're now transporting and what we've taken away from the road vehicles. Right. Nice little connection in. So other than that, okay, we're going to run this going down. We're going to bend that round into here. Now, how much further have I got to go? Oh, this is the last one. Nice. Nice. Right. That took longer than it should. The other ones shouldn't be as long. But that extension right there is 1.1 billion. So build those blueprints. We've got the crisscross in at the end anyway, so we're all good on that front. And now we just wait 1 million years for them to implement my blueprint planning. We'll extend the green line route now. We'll do it right now. And then we'll see what that kind of does for us in terms of the percentage gained on using transit. We're still waiting for these blueprints. Oh, there we go. Right, took longer than it should. Right, so it's already 41 minutes, this line. So with my sweet little extension, we're going to implement now. So get this in position. I reckon it's going to add an extra 20 minutes. I reckon 20 minutes. We shall see. We shall see. Right. Boom, 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 boom. And then this is our last one here, right? Yes. Very easy. Right, get this one in. Once it's confirmed. Okay, close to 20 minutes. It was more like 17 minutes. Confirm those changes. And then we'll add the trains to them. So we'll add a few more in right now. Oh, we're going to buy some more. It's been a while since I bought trains, boys, but we'll buy that many. Right, we'll do 26. We'll do 14. And we'll do 8. Right, nailed it. Back into play mode. Back into fast forward mode right now. So give that a minute or two for those trains to now kind of circulate around this green line's extension. But that's going to allow us to now connect to quite a fair few more people. Driving's up to 50% right now. It all depends on the time of day as well. It all depends on the time of day. But that will now reach new horizons, which is pretty nice. So the yellow line's going to continue up this way. We'll kind of like spread them out like the end of a rake, where it kind of like spreads out. So you'll go that way. This blue one will come up there. Pink one going there. Yellow one there. And then them two lines on the left that come up from New Jersey will cross over to create our connecting points. To be honest with you, there's more people now driving than anything else, which is kind of wild. So let's get everything else all in position then. So as I zoom in, can we find some good spots that make sense for these lines? So if I followed the one up this way, one going that way. So that pink one's kind of going to go and end over here. So let me just build some stations then, where I feel like it makes sense. So if we had... I don't know. Oh, now the game is froze again. Guys, welcome to my world right now, where my world is waiting for the game to calculate what I'm trying to attempt to do. Right, we're going to have one here, and that's where that pink line is going to run to. Okay. And then I'm definitely going to have one here, right? I'm not sure which one that's going to turn out to be. So I reckon that's going to be the pink one. So if that's the pink one, then I should really add the demand stats up for this. So if that's the pink one, the yellow one, let me pin this. The yellow one would go, let's say here, right? So yellow, pink, and is it the blue one I'm looking at right now? It is the blue one. That has to go somewhere around here. I'm thinking we just put it there. And that's where they're going to end up running to. Right, okay. So let's get rid of the demand stats. And let's just now work with this. And let's now just add in my beautiful train line connections. And hope that there's no problems pushing forward. So that's going to come down this highway. So we get to there. I'm going to do a diagonal just here to kind of pick us all up. I'm going to do one just there to kind of collect people around this vicinity. And then we're just going to follow the highway, running all the way down. And this should take us directly to that end point. So if I do one on this crisscross here, but I'm also going to do one just here. Right, this should be like super easy to implement. So we'll do one there for you. And then we'll do one there. So there's not really much planning gone into that one, I'll be completely honest with you. But it should be super simple, super easy. He says that as I'm about to destroy some buildings. Right, that's in. I'll get the crisscross in now, so that's ticked off the list. That's something that I always forget to get in. Right, bring you to there. And then in. You're going to here. So it is a little bit difficult to see these because we're running them on the highway. But I don't mind too much about this. There's not really much planning gone into this. The end goal right now is to get more people using our public transit systems than driving. Right, absolutely glorious. Keep that going. Yeah, we can avoid buildings. So this is where we might most likely will hit a building. So we'll just skim them there. I'm not deep enough to avoid them. And I'm trying to save a few pennies. Right, what am I going to do here then? Do I just bring it round? I think that works. Yeah. I don't know how, but it works. And then the extension line. Oh. So we do clip that slightly. Right, there we go. There we go. So that yellow line is now going to be extended. So to build that is actually more than the green line's extension. So now we got to wait 20 million years for this to be built. And they're pretty much all going to go into like no man's land because none of them really crisscross one another yet. Or connect up. Is what it is. Is what it is at this point. I can't move. I can't do nothing right now. There we go. Oh. The game moved for a split second. Yes, we're all good. Oh, there we go. We're all good. So let's get this yellow line extended then. So edit this. Now this is already a 1 hour, 1 minute route. Right. A 1 hour, 1 minute. There we go. Wait for them to be done. Yes. And let's continue. Oh. Yeah, there we go. So I reckon 15 minutes extension. It'll be a 1 minute 16. That's going to be my guess. A 1 minute 16 journey. And then the last one goes there. Right. Almost done, boys. And boom. So a 1 minute 16 is my guess. What does it turn out to be? Let's find out. Oh, 1 minute 21. Okay, I completely under then. I was over on the green, completely under on the yellow line. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Right, let's add the trains to this then. So I'm going to do 40. I know it seems excessive, but we already, because of the nature of this yellow line, it's probably our busiest line in the game. And I've just made it even busier because the red line overtook it, but now I've extended the yellow line. It's going to make it even more busy. Yeah, wild behavior. So after the green line has now settled down a little bit, still a lot to do, don't get me wrong, still a lot to do. We've gained a little bit of percent there, a little bit of a percentage. We have dropped the driving down a little bit, but it's all going to change around this vicinity here. Now, I'm wondering if I can do both the blue and the pink line at the same time. So we're going to have to figure out where the one line turns. I might quad it for a bit and then it splits here. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to quad it and then it splits. So I'm actually going to make the quad be a -10. So I'm going against everything I've done so far. All right, so quad there. And I want the quad to start here. So starting there. And we'll do a couple of stops leading all the way up. Trying to mimic where the stops are on the yellow line. As I feel like it makes the most amount of sense. Yeah, that will do me. Build the quad tracks then. Now, in theory, we shouldn't really have any issues with buildings at a -10. We really shouldn't. All right, there we go. And that's all good for me. So, parallel, we'll do our station for the pink here. Where the blue's going to run directly into it. I don't think it needs to do anything at all. I'm going to pay to delete that building just because I'm lazy. And then run that there. And then we're going to... We'll do this one as a -5, just so we got our height difference. To merge it all in. So the blue line is the outer line. That's all we need to know. Blue line is the outer line. Right. So single tracks then. Coming down this way. That should be all I need to do. That will go directly into there. Nailed it. Nailed it, nailed it, nailed it. So this is where we'll then eventually end up splitting. So if I make the blue station... Do you know what? To be honest with you, I might make... I feel like the blue line is going to have a harder time to get up to there. So I might keep that a -10. And we'll flip it round the opposite way. So we'll add a station there. And then we'll add a station there. Now, it should go under all these buildings. There shouldn't be an issue. But we need it to come from over there. So we'll do a stop here. I'm going to do... Where's it got to go to? Down there. Okay. We'll do a stop here. Stop there. And then we'll do a stop like that there. So, building these tracks, we'll only go from this one first. I shouldn't have a single issue with buildings, because they're just not deep enough in this vicinity. Alright, there we go. Very good. Ooh, do you know what? I'm going to delete that building. I'm just too lazy. It's such a bad way, isn't it? Oh. Right, build stations. So we'll have our -5 here. And where's this got to run, by the way? It's got to run over there. So I'm following this highway is pretty much what I'm doing. We'll go there. We'll go there. All right, deleting another building. I'm such a bad planner, aren't I? And then we'll squeeze in one more here. Right, glorious, glorious, glorious. Build tracks. So there to there. Now let me get both of these Chrissy Crossies in. While it's on my mind. We go from there to there. I am so surprised I hit 0 buildings there. That is such a shock. Apart from the building I hit there, but I can't do much about that. I could, but I'm too lazy. And there to there. There to there. And then all I've got to do now is implement the crossover here. So that goes from a -10. And that will go to a 5, basically. So I need to make my single lines so I've got to find, there we go, the crossing point. And it's going to be there. Oh no, why am I doing that? I'm an idiot. I don't need to cross there. I just do this. Right, put that there. And then in. No, let me undo all of that. I didn't like how it was kind of merging too close. And that does exactly what I need it to do. Now, I know this keeps all this area here open, but that's where one of the lines are going to run through diagonal, and the other one's going to run a little bit more north. So, you see how that then goes. It works out in our favor. So the cost of that is 4 billion. We now build those blueprints, which are going to take 50 million years to get built. What? Crazy, I know, right? All right, so now we wait. So, you guys good? You did you eat all your veggies and your dinner last night? Oh, I've lost my mind. I've absolutely lost my mind. Right, so that's then done. We'll get these extensions then implemented. So we'll start with the pink line and we'll edit this route. So this is already a 57-minute route. So we'll see what we can do. Now, the pink one is the middle. So let me just wait for that to update. There we go. And then we'll run through all of this. Give it a mo, give it a mo. All right, bam, bam. If you can do it quick enough, you can collect or select multiple of them. And then it all computes them at once. And then bam, 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 bam. The pink line has then been done. So that adds on an extra 20 odd minutes. So confirm those changes, add some extra trains, go a little bit over the top. I'll go to 30, to 15, to 12. A little bit over the top, but that will do us some good. Then the blue line extension, the light blue line, which is already an hour and 20 minutes. Oh my goodness me. Yeah, because that one goes all the way down by Brooklyn, doesn't it? Right, this is using the outer of all of this line. Once it can compute where it needs to run. There we go. Took a while. Oh, nice. We got all them in one go. That's what we like to see. All right, keep that going. And then the final one will be just there. Righty. Righty. So confirm those changes. Wow, we've had an extra 90. So it's all been roughly about an extra 20-minute extension, hasn't it? That's what it's all roughly been. I need more trains. All right, let's buy that many. Right, 46, 23, 15. It's a lot, but because the line is so long, I'm going to go for the extension. Add a few extra in. Right. So I like how that kind of connects momentarily. I do like the idea of that. Because it is quite a populous area just there. So having two lines serve it is probably a good idea. So all we've got left to do now then is extend the purple line there leading up. And then we pretty much reach all of this. Is it really well connected? Not yet until we do the east and west lines. That will merge onto these two bad boys down there. And then we'll eventually have like another diagonal line coming and cutting all the way through. With whatever line we have coming down from Long Island, from the you know, Queens area over here. So it's all planned. It just takes time to get it all implemented. But we should start to see slowly the tables turn with the demands as they do move around. So the game is still trying to figure out how this now works. I know we haven't got all the trains out yet because the game's still slightly jumping about. But we will eventually have a nice little system on the go. Right, so that's really the shortest extension out of all of them I've got to do. Right, the game's running almost a little bit smoother, so I think all the new trains have been spawned. I can change it. Is it ×3, which is a little bit better, or is it ×2? I think ×2, I mean, it's still slow, but it's a little bit better. So that's just going to run up to there. There's not going to be really that many stops available. I'll probably bring it there. I'll probably keep it all down to a -10 just to kind of save myself the hassle. We'll save ourselves the hassle. So keep it -10. We've got a stop there. I'll do a stop there. And I'm going to do a stop there. And then we're going to choose to cut this way. So a stop there. So I can incorporate a stop there. And a stop there. I don't want to do too many. And I don't want it to be in amazing places. I just want to keep it simple. Wow, okay, so... Right, trying to delete the least amount of buildings. I just don't think I was at the right gradient then. Because it was coming from a -5. It was coming from a -5. Right. Simple connections. So from there to there. There to there. Add a Chrissy-crossy. We're done. So that'll be the cheapest one out of all of them, right? No, it's as expensive because the whole thing was -10. The whole thing was -10. Right, it's all good. Building those blueprints. Building those blueprints. Surely these should take less time to build because they're only small. Who knows? Who knows at this point? Are we done? Yes! Right. So let's get that final extension then sorted, which is the purple line, which is already 1 hour and 14 minutes. This will not be a 20-minute extension needed. This will not be a 20-minute extension at all. Right, hold up. There we go. So wait for it to confirm those. Yeah, it wasn't really a 20-minute extension, was it? Nice. Nice. Make sure we got adequate amount of trains on here. I'll go 36, 18, 12. Right. All those lines there that I want to extend have now been extended. Like I said, it will take time for us to see the stats ultimately change, but we're now connecting more people than ever before, which is amazing. More people than ever before. So I reckon we'll try and do a fast forward in a minute. We'll try our best. But that network is redonkulous. If you're there and want to get to over there, sorry, there's no connection just yet. We'll have to plan that in just a minute. So fast forward what I can do anyway. It is currently the afternoon. And we're 46.3%. Now, what is the reason for all these here not being able to get to it? I mean, I need more crossover routes. So let's plan this out then, where we're going to do these. Let's plan this out. So I've got 2 to come over, of course. I've got 2 to make their way over. I've got that red one that does need to... I think that red one's going to extend over there. 2 to cross over. So one might go diagonal. I might have one that just goes diagonal. So diagonal, 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 diagonal. Ends there. And then one that actually goes like that. just for the funsies. So if I work with a diagonal one first, and because the nature of all of this, I'm going to spend the money right now. This is going to be super expensive. I'll make it minus 14. So diagonal there. And then where are we diagonaling then? I might actually do it like this, where it skips a couple of stops, diagonals, diagonals, diagonals. Now, I know it's super busy here. So let me check the demand stats. I'm going to make it diagonal here. So build stations, diagonal there. So for the yellow, I'll diagonal here. And then, oh, hello game. Today, please, wakey, wakey. The game has decided it's time for an afternoon nap. So I'm going to do a stop there. Just to maximize slightly, and a stop there. So diagonal there, diagonal there. And we're going to try and get it. Let me check demand stats again. Let me pin that. So where's it diagonal here, by the way? Just there. Come up, cross, and then go that way. Yeah. So we can utilize... So you can have a couple of stops where it's not being serviced by anybody else. So there. I'm going to do a stop here. Then I need a transitioning stop, which we'll do just there. I'll go like that. I know these don't make sense. I'm not following the road network. And I'm going to do a stop here. We'll cross on a stop there on the purple line. I'll go up there. And I'm going to end it there. Actually, no. I'm going to end it here. Because that could be the crossover. Or where the other line ends as it comes down. And then in. Right, this is going to be really, really expensive, by the way. Because I've decided to do this all minus 15. This is all going to be super expensive. But this is what's going to transform this area and really increase our transport numbers. Because how these lines are going to intertwine and crisscross. Now, this one will do a good job, but the other one will do probably a better... No, do you know what? I don't know which one's going to do a better job, because this one is, like I said, it's completely diagonal. But you do need that completely horizontal line as well. Right, run this down. Your connection's there. So if that's there, I need it, because it's the brown line, by the way, which arguably is one of my worst lines. So building stations. Right, there. There, because I've also got to satisfy this area, by the way. But I want it to go diagonal, so I'm going to cut it there. So it does like a weird DNA kind of style-y as it leads round. I'm just going to do one last one there. There's like a DNA pattern. Right. There's a problem with this. Because obviously I need to get it down to minus 15. But once you're at minus 15, it's plain sailing. It is plain sailing. Right, this brown line is going to be so long. It's going to be so long. Right, got issues there because of the depth. I'm going to have to get down to minus 24, unfortunately. That works. That's done. Did I add the crisscross over here? I did not. Now I did. Right, this will be my most expensive build today. 4.6. When I say today, I mean in today's episode. And then wait a gazillion years to get this done. A gazillion years, boys. 1 gazillion years. Right. This should be quite transformative, this line. It really should. So it's doing something a little bit different to the existing lines. Now, if I check my route ridership, the brown line is... Okay, it was once one of the worst ones, but I think since we extended it to Staten Island, it's kind of picked up some numbers. The sage line is our worst one. So let's see what we can do with this brown line right now, which is already at 58 minutes. This is now going to add so much more time to it, because this is the biggest extension I've done yet. Right, wait for those to catch up. There we go. And we wait. And we wait. Are we nearly there yet? We're nearly there yet, boys. We're nearly there. Right, come on, game. The biggest extension yet. We've missed a couple here. And we're just waiting for it to now update. Bam, bam, bam. Waiting. Waiting. Come on, come on, come on. Done yet? Yes. Right, that's all done. So from 58 minutes or wherever it was, let's see what it then finally ends up being. 1 hour 30. Right, we'll confirm those changes right now. And then add lots of trains, which I'm probably going to have to buy a few more. We'll do 40, we'll do 20, we'll do 15. Right, look at that brown line extension right now. All frailing over. So the other one there will obviously come up. And then it will cross over. It will do a little bit of diagonal, but it's kind of going to... It will kind of semicircle it. So it will semicircle it. And then come down. I might make it cross through the orange and the brown. No, I need to kind of go up. It's going to be its own thing in many ways. Yeah, I'll have to do something else that crosses over there. But it's going to semicircle it. So we kind of get... We've got like the middle cross, the southern cross, the northern crossover. And it will come down there. Right. Let that now do what it's got to do. My demand stats are still at 45%. Now, because we've got this brown line tearing through, it should, in theory, give us more need and more ability to transport people. I don't know why we haven't seen the numbers change as much, because we came pretty close last episode. We did come pretty close to transporting more people on our subway network than vehicles. But apparently not enough. Apparently not enough. Apparently not enough. It's so busy. But now we got people traveling to the Brown route anyway. So that's good to see. It's quite a populous area here. Is that because there's a stadium there? Is that the whole reason? Is that a stadium, guys? Let me know in the comment section. If it is, what team plays there? Is it baseball? No, it's not a baseball stadium. It looks like a football stadium. Is it the Yankees or is that a baseball stadium? The Jets, the Nets? I don't know what they're called. I'm not really up to date with American sport. Right, route ridership. Okay, we've gained an extra % on top. Oh, 47. Okay, that's looking pretty handsome. 47.4. Those numbers are in. Okay, we're only a % off. Catching up the driving. Oh! Oh! Boys! We're 2% off breaking even. And there we have it. We're now officially transporting more people via our subway network than are driving in the city. Now, there's a long way to go. I've got to get to 50% to confirm we've got more people on our subway network than driving and walking. There's a lot more we still got to kind of, increase and add on that. But that's glorious numbers. I mean, we're on 49% right now. We are getting awfully close. Awfully close. 49.2, that number is still increasing. But we need that northern arch. I need that northern semicircle that will then follow us down. Just to get people from here, left and right. I know we kind of do it on the brown line, but it's not as fluid as we could make it. So we've got to get that set up. But we're officially transporting more people than are driving in the city. All because of our glorious Bronx expansion. Now, zooming out, there's still a lot more areas, don't get me wrong. That's going to be an interesting one to run a line down here. There is still a lot of areas. There's a few little bits in Staten Island and whatnot. Got to get that little side there and just kind of support the northern connection. But everything else is pretty much all there. I mean, you can see these two lines here could run down. These two lines here could run up and then crisscross with some other lines. It all works out in many ways. It all works out. But it's all down to the time of day. Other than that, we are transporting more people on our subway network than they want to drive in their vehicles. Hallelujah, boys. What an extensive network. Right, we'll end it here. We are gonna push for the 50% mark in the next episode. We have took a huge hit to operational profit. I have got more trains on the lines than ever before. That also hinders my expenses, as you can then see. But it does mean I'm able to carry more people. I do transport more people. So it kind of does work out in the end. I might eventually up my ticket price again, so I've got some extra cash coming in the bank. Guys, we'll end it here. I hope you did enjoy this episode. If you did, please smash that like button down below. And until next time, I will see you all soon. So goodbye.